Good afternoon. This week marks an unfortunate anniversary of 1 month since our first COVID-19 fatality in our state. As of Sunday, we've had 195 of our fellow Washingtonians fall, and we have 5,000 or more known cases, with many, many thousands more than that have yet to be diagnosed. Since I announced Washington's stay home, stay healthy order for the state, we have seen social distancing and other compliance measures from our businesses, from our churches, from our families, from people across the state of Washington who are really pitching in to keep us all healthy. It's been very gratifying to see the vast majority of Washingtonians voluntarily comply with this order. So we have a very strong and robust team across the state of Washington, and this team is dedicated to beating the COVID-19 virus. And today we'd like to talk about the ability and need to grow that team and recruit new members to that team against the COVID-19 virus, because if we're going to beat it, all of us have to be engaged. All of us have to be leaders, because the more people that are leaders, the less people who are going to be victims. And so that's why we're here today. Unfortunately, we've had thousands of calls coming in from many places in the state, also to our state and local agencies, from concerned residents, with reports that some individuals and some businesses are not complying with this order. And these people who are calling us are very concerned about their health and the health of others, and how the actions of folks who aren't on the team are putting so many people at risk. My office and state agencies have worked day and night to try to give as much guidance as humanly possible to individuals and businesses about how to comply with this order. And now, working with state and regulatory agencies, prosecutors and law enforcement, we are providing clear guidance on how to report violations of this order of compliance, so that everyone can help everyone be on this team. And that's why I'm pleased today to be joined by Attorney General Bob Ferguson, Chief John Batiste, the Washington State Patrol, Bellevue Police Chief Steve Milet, and Spokane Police Chief Craig Meidel. Together, we are announcing today how these orders will be enforced and how individual Washingtonians can help. Now, our focus remains on educating the public while these orders remain in effect. And we don't know how long that's going to be. And I've previously said that these orders might have to be extended, and that certainly remains the case given the continued growth of this virus in our state. So the essentials of this guidance we're talking about today might be thought of in 3 tiers. The first tier: if state or local authorities receive a complaint from a citizen, they're going to let people know that if they are violating the order, they really need to stop violating the order and comply with what is healthy for everyone in Washington. The second tier: if they don't come into compliance, the state is going to take action, starting with citations, suspension notices of a variety of permits, including revoking business licenses if that's what's necessary to bring these folks into compliance. The third tier: if that is still not enough, but local and state authorities are going to refer these complaints to the Attorney General for law enforcement, either for civil or criminal charges. We know that violating orders can amount to a gross misdemeanor, but taking the people to court is the very last thing that will be considered and should not be necessary under any conditions for folks who really value the health of their loved ones and respect for everyone in our community. So if you believe a business is violating this order, we have a one-stop online form to submit your complaint so we can investigate it. And that's at coronavirus.wa, that's wa.gov, G-O-V, coronavirus.wa.gov. So if you see gatherings that are in violation of this order, We'd like you to use your best judgment and decide whether to notify local law enforcement or this site that we've set up. And you should find the direct line to your police department. Please do not call 911, that's for emergencies, unless there's an immediate threat to safety. And I do like to stress this. These are local decisions, and we're not going to tell local law enforcement how to do their jobs. We think the best way to help is to provide information and let the local law enforcement agencies make their decision. And I want to thank local leaders around the state for stepping up to the threat this virus poses. The emergency responders, the police and fire who do not fear going in to help people in unknown situations, we know they're heroes every day, as are our nurses and physicians and ambulance drivers. These folks deserve our help, and our help is to not violate this order. You know, we have people risking their health going into these hospitals today to treat people with COVID. And if they can do that, the least we can do is to follow the law of the state of Washington in this order to preserve human life of our neighbors and our families. A regularly updated information for businesses and individuals about our Stay Home, Stay Healthy order can be found again at coronavirus.wa.gov. So I'm now going to turn it over to Bob Ferguson, who's done such a fantastic job for the state of Washington.
Thank you so much, Governor, and thanks to you and your team, who I know are working so hard on behalf of all Washingtonians to keep everybody safe. It's an honor to be here today just to reinforce a few of the key points that the Governor made and the role of the Office Attorney General working with local law enforcement on this really important issue. Look, we're all in this together, and my office is working closely with state agencies and local law enforcement to ensure that the Governor's emergency proclamation and orders are followed. Our goal is 100% voluntary compliance. We want to be very clear. I don't want to have to use the powers of my office to hold accountable those who intentionally violate the Governor's emergency orders. But I want to be very clear. If necessary, I will. The reason is simple. Lives literally depend upon it. A couple points I want to add on that. A non-essential business that refuses to close, even after, as the Governor mentioned, even after a warning letter, that first step, is endangering public health and committing an unfair labor practice and violating our Consumer Protection Act's prohibition on unfair business practices. We ask you to think about our healthcare professionals who are risking their lives every day on our behalves and the high-risk individuals in our communities. We really appreciate everybody enforcing these orders so we do not have to use those enforcement powers. I do want to add one specific point around something we've received a number of complaints about very specifically, and that is the Governor's March 18th emergency 30-day moratorium on evictions. During this emergency, of course, it is critically important that Washingtonians maintain safe and stable housing. My office has received complaints that landlords are attempting to evict tenants in violation of the Governor's moratorium. We have, to be specific, received reports that landlords are getting creative in trying to work around that moratorium. We take these allegations very seriously. If a Washingtonian feels that is happening to them, please contact my office. We understand these are tough times for everybody, including landlords. However, putting families on the street during this public health emergency is not right and is certainly not healthy for everyone concerned. We appreciate everybody's compliance, and I really appreciate the hard work of local law enforcement folks, some are on the call, who are really helping on this as well. Next, I want to introduce Chief Batiste of the State Troopers, who's been a true partner and also is going through a tough time as an agency. They lost one of their own recently, and Chief, just really appreciate your service and those of all those who work with you. Thanks so much.
Folks, we're all in this together. Governor, I want to thank you for all that you're doing to help keep us safe. On behalf of all of law enforcement across this great state of ours, I want to thank the folks who are fully compliant with the Governor's order to stay at home, stay healthy. We really need your help. For the folks who are out of compliance, we need you to listen to my voice and those of my peers and become compliant. It's in the best interest of you, your loved ones, that you stay at home and you stay healthy and fully comply with this order. Lives are at stake. In our toolkit, if we fail to gain compliance, we'll be forced to use those tools. There are regulatory means that are available to us to deal with folks who are out of compliance. Citations can be used. And as a last resort, we can arrest people. That's the last thing we want to do. We really need you to help us help you stay safe so that we can keep our loved ones healthy and keep you healthy. So please, do the right thing. And what's the right thing? Stay at home, stay healthy, and comply with this order. Thank you very much. I'll invite my friends from Bellevue Police, Spokane Police to have remarks or be available to take questions.
Thank you very much, and Governor, thank you very much for your leadership during these very stressful times. I want to start as well.